Hello and welcome to Sleepy Health. Tonight, we are drifting far from land, away from noise and urgency, and gently descending into the vast, breathing world of the ocean. A world that covers most of our planet, yet remains largely unexplored. A world that moves in slow rhythms, shaped by tides, moonlight, and deep currents older than memory. As you settle in, allow your breathing to soften and imagine the surface of the sea growing calmer above you, the light dimming, the water cooling, and the busy thoughts of the day dissolving like salt in the waves. Marine life exists in layers, much like sleep itself. Near the surface, where sunlight still reaches, life feels energetic and bright. Tiny phytoplankton drift quietly, absorbing light and releasing oxygen, forming the invisible foundation of nearly all ocean ecosystems. These microscopic organisms are among the most important life forms on Earth, producing a large portion of the oxygen you breathe, even as you rest now. Around them move schools of fish, gliding together as if sharing a single mind, responding instantly to subtle shifts in pressure and light. Their movements are not rushed, not forced, but guided by ancient instincts refined over millions of years. As you drift deeper, the light softens into shades of blue, then fades into darker tones. Coral reefs appear like underwater cities, alive with color and motion. Corals themselves are not plants or rocks, but living animals, building vast structures slowly, patiently over centuries. Within these reefs, marine life finds shelter, food, and balance. Fish weave through coral branches, crustaceans clean and maintain their surroundings, and predators move calmly, never wasting energy. Everything here operates on efficiency, a lesson written into the water itself. Nothing moves without purpose, and nothing rushes without need. Deeper still, the ocean grows quieter. Pressure increases, temperatures drop, and the darkness becomes complete. Yet life does not disappear. Instead, it adapts. Bioluminescent creatures glow softly in the black water, producing gentle pulses of light to communicate, attract, or protect. Some flash briefly, others glow steadily, like distant stars suspended in the deep. These lights are not decoration, but survival, proof that even in total darkness, life finds ways to signal, connect, and endure. The deep ocean teaches that silence does not mean emptiness, and darkness does not mean absence. Marine animals have evolved bodies perfectly tuned to this environment. Whales move slowly through vast distances, conserving energy, their massive hearts beating calmly, steadily, sending oxygen-rich blood through bodies built for endurance. Dolphins communicate through clicks and whistles, mapping their surroundings through sound, creating mental images of the world beyond sight. Octopuses change color and texture in moments, blending seamlessly with their surroundings, their intelligence expressed not through speed, but through awareness and adaptability. Every form is shaped by water, pressure, and time. The ocean is also a place of cycles. Life feeds life, waste becomes nourishment, and nothing is truly lost. When marine organisms die, their bodies sink slowly, feeding creatures below, returning nutrients to the deep. Over time, these nutrients rise again through currents, supporting new growth near the surface. This continuous loop mirrors the rhythms of the human body, where rest restores energy and stillness allows renewal. The sea does not resist change, it flows with it. Even the smallest marine creatures play a role. Jellyfish pulse gently through the water, their movements slow and deliberate, almost meditative. Sea stars regenerate lost limbs, reminding us that healing can be gradual and patient. Sea turtles navigate vast oceans guided by Earth's magnetic fields, returning to the same beaches where they were born, carrying memory not in thought, but in biology. These lives unfold without urgency, shaped by trust in natural rhythms rather than control. As you float quietly in this imagined ocean, notice how calm it feels to exist in a place where nothing demands immediate attention. Marine life survives by conserving energy, by responding only when necessary, by resting within motion rather than fighting it. The ocean does not hurry, and yet everything is accomplished. This balance is something your body understands deeply, especially as you drift toward sleep. The water around you grows warmer now, gentler, cradling rather than pressing. The distant sounds of the surface fade completely, replaced by a steady, comforting silence. Marine life continues its slow, endless dance all around you, unseen but constant, reminding you that life does not need noise to thrive. As you rest, imagine yourself floating safely, supported by the ocean, breathing slowly, carried by currents older than thought, allowing your mind and body to sink into the same deep, restorative calm that has sustained life beneath the waves for millions of years. As you continue to drift, the ocean opens itself even wider, revealing a sense of scale that is difficult to grasp but easy to feel. The water stretches endlessly in every direction, a living expanse that holds more than 90% of all life on Earth. Here, time moves differently. Seconds feel softer. Minutes stretch gently. The ocean does not measure life in deadlines or schedules, but in tides, seasons, and slow migrations guided by the moon and the pull of distant shores. Far below, vast underwater plains extend like silent deserts, smooth and undisturbed, where only the faintest currents stir fine layers of sediment. These plains may seem empty at first, but life persists even here. Tiny organisms burrow beneath the surface, feeding on particles that drift down from above, sustaining ecosystems so subtle they exist almost entirely beyond human awareness. Every falling fragment, every drifting nutrient finds a place. Nothing is wasted. The ocean teaches that even what seems insignificant has value when given time and space. Underwater mountains rise quietly from the seafloor, taller than many peaks on land. These seamounts disrupt currents, drawing nutrients upward and creating oases of life in the deep. Fish gather here, predators follow, and complex communities form around these hidden structures. Many of these underwater landscapes have never been seen by human eyes, yet they continue their work uninterrupted, shaping marine life through gravity, pressure, and flow. The ocean does not require observation to exist fully. It thrives whether watched or not. Currents move like invisible rivers, transporting warmth, cold, oxygen, and nutrients across vast distances. These slow-moving streams connect distant parts of the world, allowing life to adapt, migrate, and survive. The Gulf Stream, the Antarctic Circumpolar Current, and countless smaller flows form a global circulation system that regulates climate and supports marine ecosystems. In this way, the ocean becomes the planet's quiet regulator, stabilizing temperatures, absorbing heat, and buffering extremes without drawing attention to itself. Sound travels differently here. In the deep ocean, a whale's call can travel hundreds of kilometers, low and resonant, echoing through water like a slow heartbeat. These songs are not rushed. They rise, fall, and linger, carrying meaning across time and distance. Other creatures communicate through vibrations, subtle pressure changes, and chemical signals, creating a rich language that does not rely on words. Even in silence, the ocean is full of communication. Life adapts to extremes in remarkable ways. In the cold, dark depths near hydrothermal vents, water heated by Earth's interior bursts upward, rich with minerals. Here, entire ecosystems thrive without sunlight, powered instead by chemical energy. Bacteria convert minerals into fuel, supporting tube worms, crabs, and other creatures that live in conditions once thought impossible. These communities remind us that life does not depend on comfort, but on adaptability. It finds pathways where none seem to exist. Closer to the surface, the ocean reflects light in endless patterns. Waves scatter sunlight into moving fragments, creating shimmering pathways that dance across the water. These patterns influence marine life, signaling time of day, depth, and direction. Fish adjust their behavior with the shifting light, predators hunt when shadows favor them, and plankton rise and fall in daily vertical migrations, one of the largest movements of life on Earth, occurring quietly every single day. The ocean also holds memory. Not memory as humans understand it, but physical records written into layers of sediment, coral growth rings, and chemical signatures preserved in ice and water. These records tell stories of ancient climates, shifting continents, and long-extinct species. The ocean remembers storms, temperature changes, and migrations, storing this information in ways that shape future life. It is both archive and cradle, holding the past while nurturing what comes next. As you remain suspended in this gentle vastness, notice how the ocean does not resist weight or pressure. It supports, carries, and adapts. This is why floating feels effortless, why the body relaxes when immersed. Water distributes force evenly, removing sharp edges, softening strain. In this environment, even large creatures move with grace, conserving energy, guided by flow rather than force. Now the water around you grows stiller, the currents slowing, as if the ocean itself is settling into rest. Life continues, but quietly, efficiently, without excess. The vastness no longer feels overwhelming, but protective. The ocean becomes a shelter, a reminder that stillness and movement can coexist, that depth can be calm, and that life does not need to rush to be complete. As you drift deeper into rest, imagine the ocean holding you gently, breathing with you, its ancient rhythms guiding your mind and body toward a deep, peaceful sleep. As the ocean continues to unfold around you, its vastness begins to feel familiar, almost comforting, as though you have always belonged to this slow, breathing world. The water carries a steady temperature now, neither warm nor cold, just enough to let the body relax completely. Here, movement is minimal, and yet life persists everywhere, quietly adapting to the gentle sway of currents and the constant presence of pressure. Far above, the surface shifts with waves and wind, but down here, those disturbances fade into distant echoes. This separation allows the deep ocean to remain remarkably stable. Temperatures change slowly, light is absent, and time stretches. Marine creatures living here grow slowly, move carefully, and conserve energy with precision. Some fish may live for decades, even centuries, their lives unfolding at a pace that mirrors the deep calm of their environment. Longevity here is not about speed or strength, but about patience and balance. The ocean floor reveals patterns shaped by time rather than force. Rippled sand formed by ancient currents, layered sediments recording countless years, and scattered shells resting exactly where they settled long ago. Each layer tells a quiet story of change, so gradual it barely feels like change at all. This slow transformation allows ecosystems to adjust without chaos, reminding us that stability often comes from consistency rather than control. Marine life also follows rhythms tied to the moon. Tides rise and fall, guiding feeding, migration, and reproduction. Corals release their eggs in precise synchrony once a year, responding to lunar cycles and water temperature with astonishing accuracy. This coordination does not require thought or planning. It is embedded in biology, a silent agreement between organism and environment. These rhythms continue whether observed or not, creating a steady pulse beneath the ocean's surface. The ocean also acts as a vast reservoir of carbon, absorbing and storing it through complex chemical and biological processes. Phytoplankton draw carbon dioxide from the water, using it to grow, then pass it through the food web. When these organisms die, some sink, carrying carbon to the depths where it can remain for centuries. In this way, the ocean helps regulate the planet's atmosphere, quietly supporting life on land without recognition or reward. Colors fade with depth, but texture remains. Creatures here rely on touch, pressure, and subtle vibrations rather than sight. Whisker-like sensors, lateral lines, and sensitive skin allow animals to sense movement from great distances. A passing current, a distant fin stroke, a slight change in water pressure, all are noticed and interpreted. Awareness here is not sharp or frantic, but broad and calm, tuned to the environment as a whole rather than isolated details. As you drift further, imagine how the ocean never truly rests, yet never feels exhausted. Its movements are continuous but gentle, like breathing. Waves rise and fall, currents circulate, and life adapts without urgency. This endless motion without strain offers a powerful lesson for the body and mind. Rest does not require stillness, it requires harmony. Now the water seems to cradle you more closely, as though the ocean itself is aware of your presence. The boundaries between you and the surrounding space soften. Breathing slows, muscles loosen, and the sense of separation fades. In this state, the ocean is no longer something you are exploring. It becomes a place you are part of. The darkness here is not empty, but full. Full of quiet lives, slow movements, and ancient processes unfolding in silence. There is nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to go. The ocean holds everything in balance, and for this moment it holds you too. As your awareness drifts, imagine the deep sea continuing its calm work around you, steady and eternal, guiding you gently into a peaceful, untroubled sleep. As you drift even deeper into this quiet blue world, your awareness turns toward the great mammals of the ocean, beings whose presence feels ancient and reassuring, as though they carry the memory of the planet within them. Ocean mammals breathe air like you do, yet they have returned to the sea, reshaping their bodies and rhythms to live between two worlds. Their lives unfold slowly, deliberately, guided by depth, distance, and sound rather than sight. Whales move through the ocean with an unhurried grace, their massive bodies supported effortlessly by water. Each movement is economical, each dive intentional. Some species descend thousands of meters into darkness, holding their breath for an hour or more, their hearts slowing to conserve oxygen, blood flow carefully redirected to protect the brain and heart. In these long descents, the outside world fades away, and the whale enters a realm of pressure and silence that few other mammals ever experience. When they rise again, breaking the surface with a gentle exhale, it feels less like a return and more like a continuation of an endless cycle. Their songs travel vast distances, low-frequency vibrations rolling through the water like slow waves of emotion. These sounds are not rushed. They repeat, evolve, and echo, carrying information across entire ocean basins. A whale does not need to see another to know it is there. Sound becomes connection, memory, and orientation all at once. In this way, the ocean itself becomes a shared space of communication, holding messages long after they are sent. Dolphins live closer to the surface, where light still dances and the water feels more playful. They move in social groups, their intelligence expressed through cooperation, curiosity, and gentle interaction. Through echolocation, they paint detailed pictures of their surroundings using sound, sensing shape, distance, and movement with remarkable precision. To a dolphin, the ocean is never dark or empty. It is filled with information, flowing constantly through clicks and echoes. Their minds remain alert yet relaxed, balanced between awareness and ease. Seals and sea lions rest on land but belong to the water. Their bodies are built for both stillness and sudden bursts of motion. Thick layers of fat insulate them from cold, storing energy for long swims and deep dives. When submerged, their heart rates slow, and their bodies shift into conservation mode, using oxygen carefully and efficiently. Rest and effort alternate naturally, without struggle, allowing these animals to thrive in demanding environments. Ocean mammals evolved from land ancestors, and traces of that past remain written into their anatomy. Hidden bones, adapted lungs, and sensitive skin remind us that evolution does not erase history, it reshapes it. These mammals did not abandon land abruptly. Over millions of years, generation by generation, their bodies softened, streamlined, and adapted, guided by the gentle pressure of water and the promise of abundance beneath the waves. What is striking about ocean mammals is not just their size or intelligence, but their calm presence. They do not rush through life. Migration takes months. Growth takes years. Bonds last lifetimes. Calves remain close to their mothers, learning migration routes, vocal patterns, and survival skills through experience rather than urgency. Knowledge is passed slowly, through repetition and proximity, creating cultures within species that persist across generations. As you float among these gentle giants, notice how the ocean supports them completely. Water carries their weight, reduces strain, and allows massive bodies to move with ease. This support invites rest, even during motion. The mammals of the ocean teach that strength does not require tension, and intelligence does not require constant effort. Balance comes from trusting the environment and moving with it rather than against it. The deeper you drift, the more these creatures fade into the blue, their shapes dissolving into light and shadow. Yet their presence lingers, steady and grounding. They continue their journeys, guided by currents, sound, and instinct, reminding you that life can be powerful without being hurried, vast without being overwhelming, and deeply connected without noise. As your mind settles, imagine their slow movements echoing in your breath, carrying you gently toward rest, held safely in the quiet rhythm of the ocean. The ocean is not just a vast body of water. It is a living world, older than forests, older than mountains, and older than humanity itself. Covering more than 70% of our planet, the ocean holds layers of mystery that grow deeper, darker, and quieter as you descend. As sunlight touches the surface, the water sparkles with movement. This upper layer, often called the sunlit zone, is where most ocean life begins. Tiny microscopic plants known as phytoplankton float gently here, using sunlight to create energy. Though invisible to the naked eye, they produce more oxygen than all the world's forests combined, quietly supporting life on Earth with every breath we take. Fish glide effortlessly through this bright layer. Schools move like a single organism, turning and shifting in perfect harmony. Coral reefs grow slowly below, forming colorful underwater cities filled with life, fish, crabs, sea stars, and countless other creatures finding shelter among the coral branches. As we drift deeper, the light begins to fade. The water becomes cooler and calmer. This is where marine mammals begin to appear, intelligent, warm-blooded beings who must surface for air, just like us. Whales move through the ocean with astonishing grace. Despite their enormous size, they swim slowly and calmly, conserving energy. The blue whale, the largest animal ever to exist on Earth, feeds on some of the smallest creatures in the ocean, tiny shrimp-like krill. Each gentle gulp filters thousands of liters of water, showing how balance defines life in the sea. Dolphins travel in close family groups, communicating through clicks and whistles. Their voices echo through the water, bouncing off objects and returning with information, a natural sonar that allows them to see with sound. This deep connection between sound and survival is one reason the ocean feels so alive, even when it appears silent. Seals and sea lions rest on rocks and coastlines, but return to the water with ease. Their bodies are built for insulation, using a thick layer of fat called blubber, which keeps them warm in cold waters. This same adaptation allows whales to survive in icy oceans, where temperatures drop far below what humans could endure. Descending further, the ocean grows darker and quieter. This is the twilight zone, where only faint traces of light remain. Here, animals adapt in extraordinary ways. Some have large eyes to catch the smallest glimmer of light. Others produce their own glow through bioluminescence, creating soft blue or green lights in the darkness. Jellyfish pulse slowly through the water, glowing gently like floating lanterns. Deep-sea fish flash brief signals to confuse predators or attract prey. In this silent world, light becomes language. Beneath this lies the deep ocean, a place of near-total darkness and immense pressure. Few humans have ever seen it, yet life continues here, calm and resilient. Creatures move slowly, conserving energy, adapted to a world where food is scarce and time seems to stretch endlessly. At the very bottom, the ocean floor rests quietly. Mountains, valleys, and vast plains lie hidden beneath kilometers of water. Hydrothermal vents release warm, mineral-rich water, creating islands of life in the darkness. Strange organisms gather here, thriving without sunlight, powered by heat from within the earth itself. Throughout all these layers, the ocean works in harmony, circulating nutrients, regulating climate, and absorbing heat. It acts as Earth's greatest stabilizer, quietly protecting life above the surface. As waves rise and fall at the shore, they carry echoes of this hidden world. Every drop of seawater contains stories of movement, adaptation, and balance. The ocean does not rush. It flows, patiently, endlessly, reminding us that life does not need noise to be powerful. Let us drift deeper now, far beyond the reach of sunlight, into the most mysterious parts of the ocean, where silence feels heavier and time seems to slow down. As we descend, the last traces of blue light fade away. Colors disappear one by one until everything is wrapped in darkness. This is the midnight zone, a place the sun has never touched. Here, the pressure is immense, pressing gently but constantly, shaping every living creature into something perfectly adapted to this hidden world. In this deep darkness, life moves differently. Nothing rushes. Every movement is slow, careful, and efficient. Energy is precious here. Creatures wait patiently, sometimes for hours, sometimes for days, conserving strength in the quiet water. Some fish glow softly in the dark. This glow, called bioluminescence, is not bright or harsh. It is gentle, like distant stars in a night sky. Tiny lights flicker on and off, used to communicate, to lure food, or to confuse predators. In a world without sound or sight, light becomes a soft whisper. Strange shapes drift past, transparent bodies, long, delicate fins, and wide mouths designed to catch whatever chance brings. Some creatures have no eyes at all, while others have eyes so large they seem almost unreal, designed to capture the faintest hint of movement. Far below, the water grows colder, approaching freezing temperatures. Yet life continues. The ocean floor stretches endlessly, covered in fine sediment that settles like dust through the water, known as marine snow. This slow, constant fall of organic material feeds the deep, tiny fragments of life drifting down from the surface, nourishing creatures that may never rise again. In the deepest trenches of the ocean, deeper than the height of the tallest mountains, the pressure becomes almost unimaginable. And still, life exists. Small, resilient organisms survive here, their bodies adapted to conditions that would instantly crush anything from the surface world. Near cracks in the ocean floor, hydrothermal vents release warm, mineral-rich water. Around these vents, entire ecosystems thrive without sunlight. Bacteria convert chemicals into energy, forming the base of a food chain completely separate from the world above. Giant tube worms, pale and silent, sway gently in the currents, relying on unseen chemical processes rather than light. The deep ocean does not echo with noise. It absorbs sound, creating an overwhelming sense of stillness. Even the movements of large creatures feel muted, as if the water itself is cushioning every motion. Occasionally, a deep-sea giant passes through, a massive squid or an ancient fish, rarely seen, moving slowly, deliberately, as if aware of the immense space surrounding it. These beings are not aggressive or fast. They exist in balance with their environment, following rhythms older than humanity. The deeper we imagine going, the more the ocean feels less like a place and more like a presence, vast, calm, and unknowable. It does not reveal itself easily. It keeps its secrets gently, patiently, waiting without urgency. Above this darkness, waves continue to move, storms rise and fall, and human life carries on mostly unaware of the quiet world below. Yet this deep ocean helps regulate the planet, storing heat, absorbing carbon, and maintaining balance, all without drawing attention to itself. And as you picture this deep, mysterious world, dark, silent, and endlessly calm, your body can begin to let go. Your thoughts can drift like marine snow, slowly settling, becoming lighter with every breath. The ocean is deeply connected to human health. It regulates climate, absorbs heat, and stabilizes the air we breathe. Its vast surface works like a slow, steady lung for the planet. Marine mammals demonstrate powerful lessons about rest and recovery. Dolphins and whales sleep in cycles, allowing part of the brain to remain alert while the other part rests, reminding us that the body heals best when rest is continuous and gentle rather than sudden or forced. This mirrors human sleep, where deep, uninterrupted cycles restore the nervous system, balance hormones, and calm the mind. Fat in marine animals, known as blubber, protects against cold, stores energy, and supports long journeys. This shows that fat itself is not harmful, but protective when balanced. It cushions organs, stabilizes temperature, and provides nourishment during periods of scarcity. In humans, the same principle applies. Health is not about eliminating fat, but maintaining harmony within the body. Too little or too much disrupts stability, while balance allows resilience. As we move deeper into the ocean, light fades and silence grows stronger. In these depths, creatures evolve slowly, living long lives with minimal motion. Their nervous systems are adapted for efficiency, responding only when necessary. This teaches us the value of calm awareness rather than constant stimulation. When humans remain in a state of stress, the nervous system becomes exhausted. But when the mind slows, healing begins quietly, just like life in the deep sea. The rhythm of waves reflects a healthy heart, steady, predictable, soothing. Listening to ocean sounds naturally slows breathing, reduces stress hormones, and encourages deep relaxation. This is why water has always been associated with rest and renewal. Coral reefs, formed over thousands of years, remind us that true strength develops slowly. Health, like the ocean, is not built overnight. It forms through consistency, patience, and gentle care. As you imagine floating on the surface of calm water, supported without effort, let your muscles release tension. Let your breathing become slower and deeper. The ocean does not rush, and neither should you. Your body understands this rhythm. Your heart knows this pace. Allow yourself to rest within it, drifting softly, knowing that balance, healing, and calm are already within you. Kelp, with its long, ribbon-like fronds, stretches upward toward the faint light filtering from above, creating corridors for fish to weave through and surfaces for tiny organisms to cling to. Sea grasses carpet the shallows, their blades waving gently in the current, filtering the water and nourishing the sand beneath. Algae, often overlooked, performs the vital work of converting sunlight into energy, supporting the intricate web of life that depends on the sea. In this slow, measured dance of light, water, and movement, the plants provide balance, calm, and sustenance, much like the nutrients and rest your own body seeks to function optimally. Yet not all is serene in this underwater world. Corals, often mistaken for rocks or inert structures, are delicate living organisms, colonies of tiny polyps that build vast reefs over centuries. These reefs, which glow softly under the sunlight and shelter countless creatures, face threats from warming waters, pollution, and human interference. When corals bleach or die, the silent rhythm of the reef is disrupted, leaving empty spaces where life once thrived. Their vulnerability reminds us of the fragility inherent in any living system, including our own bodies, which require gentle care, proper nourishment, and calm to maintain balance. As you drift further into this marine garden, imagine the slow sway of the plants brushing against each other, sending gentle ripples through the water. Feel how this movement mirrors the subtle currents in your own body, the circulation of blood, the flow of lymph, the electrical pulses traveling through nerves. Every leaf, every frond, every blade of grass is a whisper of resilience, a quiet reminder that growth can persist even in challenges, that repair and adaptation are natural and ongoing processes. And yet, the danger to these plants is real. Rising temperatures, acidity in the water, and chemical runoff weaken their structures and slow their growth. Algae may overgrow in some areas, choking out others. Kelp forests can be decimated by storms or invasive species. Each loss alters the ecosystem, shifting currents, light, and energy in ways that ripple through the ocean. As you observe these changes, allow your awareness to settle on the interconnectedness of all life, how the health of one part supports the whole, and how gentle, consistent care can sustain delicate systems over time. In the quiet of the ocean, the plants continue their work, often unnoticed, converting light to energy, sheltering life, and stabilizing the environment. And in this gentle observation, notice how your own body mirrors these processes, quietly repairing, circulating energy, balancing stress, and maintaining homeostasis without conscious effort. Like the ocean plants, your body thrives when it is nourished, when it is allowed to move gently, and when it is treated with patience and care. The small fish dart through the kelp fronds, weaving between stalks as though in a slow, deliberate dance, their scales catching fragments of light that filter down from above. Crustaceans scuttle along the sandy floor, brushing against sea grasses that ripple with each movement, their antennae gently grazing the blades as if sensing the pulse of the ocean. Tiny invertebrates cling to algae and coral, extracting nutrients, filtering water, and contributing silently to the rhythm of life beneath the waves. Each organism, no matter how small, plays a part in the quiet balance of the ecosystem, a network of support and interaction that has persisted over millennia. The corals, though delicate, are astonishingly intricate. Each polyp, no larger than a grain of sand, builds calcium carbonate structures that become the backbone of entire reef systems. Over time, these colonies grow into complex, multi-dimensional landscapes where fish hide, eggs are laid, and predators stalk. Sponges filter water through their porous bodies, extracting microscopic food while keeping the currents steady. The symbiotic algae living within corals glow with gentle colors, transforming sunlight into energy not just for themselves, but for the polyps that depend on them. This slow exchange, invisible to casual observers, maintains the life and vibrancy of the reef. Kelp forests rise like underwater skyscrapers, their fronds stretching upward toward the light. Sea urchins cling to the stalks, grazing on detritus, while sea otters glide between the fronds, foraging and maintaining balance within the forest. Each movement of these creatures causes subtle ripples in the water, a dynamic dance of energy transfer that connects predator and prey, plant, and animal in a continuous loop of cause and effect. The density of kelp can reduce wave energy, protect shorelines, and create calm pockets where juvenile fish grow and learn to navigate the world. The forest is alive not just with movement, but with purpose, a system that thrives through interdependence and gentle adaptation. Algae, though often overlooked, cover rocks and the undersides of coral shelves, absorbing sunlight, producing oxygen, and forming the base of countless food chains. In some areas, the algae bloom thickly, changing the coloration of the water, while in others, sparse patches provide subtle nourishment. Each blade of algae releases chemicals into the water that signal to neighboring plants and animals, a quiet communication system that ensures balance and survival. Through this constant flow of energy and signals, the ocean maintains a steady, albeit fragile, equilibrium that has evolved over millions of years. Juvenile fish use these plant structures as protection, hiding in narrow spaces between fronds or within coral branches. Larger predators patrol these areas, moving with stealth and precision, guided by instinct and sensory perception. The interplay of shadow and light, movement and stillness, creates a landscape of opportunity and danger, teaching the young how to survive while sustaining the ecosystem as a whole. Even the smallest shift in current or plant density can ripple outward, influencing feeding patterns, reproductive success, and the growth of future generations. Seagrasses stabilize the sandy bottom, preventing erosion while providing habitat for worms, crabs, and small fish. The roots and rhizomes intertwine with sediment, capturing nutrients and supporting microorganisms that recycle matter. Detritus from decaying leaves nourishes benthic creatures, forming the foundation for food webs that stretch upward into larger ocean communities. In areas where these grasses die back, currents become stronger, sediments shift, and the intricate balance of life becomes more fragile. This delicate interconnection mirrors the way our own bodies depend on stable systems, from muscles and bones to the subtle chemical signaling that sustains health. Corals continue to build slowly, polyp by polyp, layer upon layer, forming reefs that can span miles and endure centuries. Fish species specialize to these environments. Some graze on algae covering the coral, preventing overgrowth. Others hide among branches to ambush prey. Some migrate seasonally, following subtle changes in currents and water temperature. Each species has evolved specific adaptations, just as the corals themselves have formed symbiotic relationships with algae, bacteria, and invertebrates. The reef functions as a living, breathing organism composed of countless individual contributors, each dependent on the other, yet maintaining autonomy, resilience, and flexibility. Kelp, swaying in the currents, provides vertical layers of habitat, allowing multiple species to occupy different niches. Epiphytic algae and tiny invertebrates colonize the kelp stalks, feeding fish and crabs while producing oxygen and organic matter. Seals and sea lions navigate these forests, hunting or resting while contributing nutrients through waste and movement. The constant interplay of predator and prey, plant and animal, light and shadow, forms a dynamic but stable ecosystem that thrives on complexity, cooperation, and subtle energy flows. Microorganisms within these habitats process nutrients, recycle waste, and maintain water clarity, often invisible to the naked eye yet essential for the survival of larger organisms. Bacteria in coral mucus protect polyps from pathogens, fungi break down dead organic matter, and plankton drift with the currents, forming the base of food webs. Every tiny entity participates in a slow, silent rhythm that maintains health and balance, creating a pattern of life that extends from the smallest cell to the largest whale navigating the open ocean. As the currents move, sediments shift, and light filters differently with the passing hours, the plants and animals adjust in perfect harmony. Juvenile creatures grow and learn, adults forage and defend, while plants sway, reproduce, and sustain life. The ocean becomes a living classroom in balance, adaptation, and resilience, a reminder that health, whether in the sea or within your own body, depends on systems working together, often unseen, often gently, often in ways that require patience and observation to fully appreciate. Deeper still, beyond the reach of sunlight, the ocean transforms into a quiet, shadowed world where light is scarce and shapes seem to float rather than stand. Here, bioluminescent creatures glow softly, their bodies emitting flickers of blue, green, and red as they navigate, hunt, or communicate. Tiny plankton pulse in delicate rhythms, creating a faint shimmer that drifts with the currents, while larger fish and invertebrates use their own light to lure prey or warn off intruders. Every flicker, every glow, is a signal in a world where sight is a precious gift, and sound, vibration, and chemical cues carry the rest of the story. Imagine yourself slowly descending with the water, feeling the cool pressure wrap around you, noticing how time seems to stretch and sound softens. Jellyfish drift like gentle lanterns, their tendrils moving with the current, pulses of bioluminescence tracing paths in the dark water. Deep-sea squids flash with sudden intensity, startling in their brief brilliance, while anglerfish dangle luminous lures before wide, waiting jaws. Even in this extreme, seemingly alien environment, there is balance, a rhythm of hunting and hiding, of growth and survival, of quiet life persisting in the absence of sunlight. The ocean floor begins to spread out below you, a landscape of ridges, trenches, and volcanic vents. Strange, soft-bodied creatures cling to rocks, absorbing minerals and filtering water, while tube worms extend from thermal vents, their red plumes capturing energy from chemical reactions rather than light. Around these vents, small crabs and shrimps scuttle, feeding on the tiny particles that rise from the mineral-rich water. In this realm, life has adapted to pressure, cold, and darkness, yet it thrives, creating ecosystems just as intricate as the coral reefs or kelp forests nearer the surface. Bioluminescence becomes more than a tool for hunting. It is a language, a signal, a life-preserving adaptation. Some fish flash patterns to attract mates, others to distract predators, and some display tiny pulses along their spines to communicate silently with companions. Even in the crushing darkness, these subtle lights allow a form of interaction, a gentle network of signals that ensures the survival of species in ways both subtle and profound. Consider the adaptations required for this extreme world. Eyes become sensitive to the smallest photons, muscles adapt to conserve energy, and chemical signaling intensifies as vision alone cannot sustain survival. Organisms grow slowly, reproduce cautiously, and develop unique morphologies, extended fins, expandable jaws, soft, flexible bodies, all tailored to the quiet rhythm of the deep. The ocean in this hidden realm is not chaotic. It is a patient, precise, and elegant system of life, constantly adjusting to the pressures and scarcity it faces. In this darkness, the plants are few, replaced by bacterial mats, chemosynthetic colonies, and drifting phytoplankton that have descended from the sunlit world above. Even so, they form the foundation for energy transfer, the base of a hidden food web that supports an astonishing variety of life. Tiny predators feed on microscopic plankton, larger predators on smaller fish, and scavengers on those who fall. Every creature, no matter how strange or alien it seems, participates in the same ancient rhythm of energy moving, life persisting, and adaptation unfolding over millennia. As you drift deeper in imagination, you may notice the quiet hum of pressure, the subtle current of water flowing past you, the faint light of distant creatures creating an ethereal landscape. This is a world largely untouched, a space where time is slow, energy is precious, and every movement carries meaning. It is also a reminder, softly and persistently, of the resilience and adaptability of life, a reflection of the intricate systems within your own body, where every cell, nerve, and organ works together to maintain balance, rhythm, and survival. Just as the deep ocean has adapted to extreme pressure, scarce light, and frigid temperatures, your body has its own hidden systems designed to maintain balance in quiet, often unnoticed ways. Think of your heart, lungs, and nervous system as currents that flow like the ocean tides, each beat, each breath, each impulse moving steadily, ensuring life continues even when you are not consciously aware. Just as deep-sea creatures have evolved to thrive where survival seems improbable, your body adjusts, repairs, and protects itself, often in silence, carrying out countless processes that sustain you without fanfare or recognition. Imagine the subtle rhythms of your own nervous system, sending signals like bioluminescent flashes along pathways that intertwine and branch, communicating information about tension, movement, sensation, and balance. Pain, fatigue, pleasure, even emotion travels through these invisible threads, sometimes brightly, sometimes dimly, just as light pulses in the deep sea reveal the presence of creatures otherwise unseen. Your muscles, joints, and organs work in harmony, sometimes taking on extra stress, sometimes resting quietly, always adjusting, always responding to your environment, to your thoughts, and to your body's needs. Consider your lungs filling with air, your diaphragm expanding, your blood carrying oxygen to every corner of your body, like ocean currents delivering nutrients across vast, unseen distances. Every cell depends on these flows, and every organ participates in a silent dialogue that maintains health, balance, and vitality. Just as deep-sea creatures rely on subtle cues and adaptations to survive in a challenging environment, your body relies on nutrition, sleep, gentle movement, and mindfulness to maintain optimal function. The smallest disruptions in rhythm, whether a skipped heartbeat, shallow breath, or unnoticed tension, can ripple through the system, reminding you of the delicate interdependence that sustains life. In this quiet exploration, imagine your awareness flowing from the tips of your fingers to your toes, like light drifting through dark water. Notice the warmth in your muscles, the softness in your joints, the subtle pulsing in your veins and arteries. Picture your brain receiving signals, interpreting sensations, and gently adjusting your posture, circulation, and focus. Your senses are alive, processing countless inputs even while you rest, creating a harmonious feedback loop akin to the synchronized bioluminescence of deep-sea communities. Now, bring attention to the connection between your mind and your body, the way your thoughts, emotions, and stress levels influence physical sensations. Just as predators and environmental shifts shape the behaviors of deep ocean creatures, your experiences, memories, and emotional patterns shape your body's responses. Tension may accumulate, muscles may tighten, and subtle aches may emerge, all as part of an intricate system attempting to maintain equilibrium. Yet, with gentle awareness, with deliberate breathing, and with intentional movement or relaxation, you provide your body with the conditions to restore balance, to release tension, and to thrive. Much like the deep ocean's ecosystem, adjusts to the constant pressures surrounding it. Picture yourself in a state of deep relaxation, your breath slow and even your heartbeat steady, and your body fully supported. Each system, each organ, each cell is performing its duties quietly and efficiently, maintaining homeostasis, processing information, and responding to your environment. Your mind can rest, knowing that your body, like the ocean itself, is resilient, adaptive, and enduring. The lessons of the deep, the patience of life thriving in darkness and pressure, mirror the quiet intelligence and sophistication of your own physical systems, where even unseen forces have profound effects on your well-being. As you drift deeper into this inner awareness, imagine yourself sinking slowly into the calm of a vast, dark ocean, where pressure surrounds you but also supports you, where silence is not emptiness but a canvas for life's quiet, persistent activity. Just as deep-sea currents flow steadily, unseen yet powerful, your circulatory system carries blood throughout your body, moving nutrients, oxygen, and information to every organ, every tissue, every cell. The heart pulses reliably, like a metronome echoing through the depths, each beat sending waves of energy through the network of vessels, ensuring life's continuity even when the mind is still. Consider the veins and arteries as intricate channels of a vast underwater reef, twisting and turning, branching and reconnecting, each pathway critical to the larger system. Some vessels, like familiar coral branches, carry more life, more oxygen, more nourishment. Others, smaller and hidden, carry subtle, almost imperceptible signals. Your blood, rich in its complexity, flows with purpose, carrying cells that protect, repair, and sustain you, much as microscopic organisms in the deep ocean maintain balance in their ecosystem. White blood cells drift like tiny guardians, patrolling against invaders, while red blood cells glimmer with oxygen, bringing warmth and vitality to distant corners of the body. Now let your attention float to the nervous system, that luminous network of communication akin to bioluminescent organisms scattered across the ocean floor. Each neuron sends delicate pulses of electricity, like flashes of light revealing hidden life, transmitting sensations, commands, and information with precision and grace. The spinal cord forms the central channel, a main current guiding signals between the brain and the body, while smaller nerves branch outward, reaching every fingertip, every toe, every muscle, every organ. It is through this system that you sense the water's pressure, the temperature, the gentle brush of currents. Your body's perception, your awareness of both internal and external worlds, flows through these paths. As you continue to explore this inner ocean, notice the subtle rhythms of your respiratory system. With each inhale, imagine drawing in the life-giving energy of deep-sea currents, oxygenating every cell, infusing the body with quiet vitality. With each exhale, release tension, stress, and fatigue, letting them drift away like bubbles ascending toward the surface. The lungs expand, the diaphragm moves, the chest rises and falls with effortless precision, a rhythm that mirrors the ebb and flow of waves far above the deep ocean, calm, steady, and restorative. Picture the interplay of all these systems, cardiovascular, nervous, respiratory, like a symphony performed in the quietest depths, where every instrument matters, where every note, no matter how soft, contributes to harmony. Pain, tension, fatigue, and stress may have accumulated like sediment over time, yet even these are part of the ecosystem, reminders of the delicate balance that sustains life. And just as life in the deep ocean adapts to shifting conditions, so too can your body respond to gentle care, attention, and mindful awareness, restoring equilibrium and resilience. Now allow yourself to notice the musculoskeletal system, your bones and joints providing structure and support, much like underwater ridges and reefs give form and stability to the ocean floor. Muscles, tendons, and ligaments act as flexible currents, capable of movement, strength, and endurance, yet responsive to touch, thought, and motion. When tension is released, when the body feels safe, muscles soften, joints glide, and posture aligns naturally. The skeletal system, dense yet alive, adapts over time, carrying the memories of movement, stress, and activity, just as corals record centuries of growth in their intricate layers. Consider the digestive system now, quietly processing, breaking down, and absorbing sustenance like oceanic currents filtering nutrients across miles. Each organ, stomach, liver, intestines works with precision, transforming food into energy, chemicals, and signals that nourish the body, regulate hormones, and maintain equilibrium. Just as plankton nourishes vast marine ecosystems, tiny biochemical processes sustain the human organism, operating with calm, unassuming diligence, often unnoticed until attention is drawn to them. As you remain in this state of awareness, imagine your endocrine system as the ocean's undercurrent, subtle but powerful, distributing hormones and chemical messages that regulate sleep, mood, growth, stress, and metabolism. Each gland, from the pituitary to the adrenal, contributes to a complex balance, where even small disruptions ripple throughout the body. The feedback loops, the checks and balances, ensure that life flows smoothly, much like the delicate balance that allows fragile coral reefs to thrive in nutrient-poor waters, dependent on precise harmony and timing. Now turn your attention to the immune system, a hidden yet essential component, like the microscopic organisms that sustain and protect the ocean's deepest ecosystems. White blood cells patrol, antibodies signal, and the body recognizes threats with quiet efficiency. Inflammation, though uncomfortable, is a protective measure, a signal of activity and vigilance, not a failure. It reminds you of the depth and complexity of life, of the unseen processes that constantly preserve and repair, just as deep-sea microbes maintain the chemical balance necessary for life to persist far below the surface. And so, your body continues to work, silently, tirelessly, a vast inner ocean of connections, rhythms, and flows. Pain, discomfort, fatigue, and tension are like the occasional storm in this calm ecosystem, reminders to adjust, to respond, to honor the quiet needs of your body. Breathing deeply, feeling the heart pulse, observing the gentle currents of nerve signals, you become aware of a profound truth. Life, in all its complexity, is both delicate and resilient. It thrives in darkness and light, in activity and stillness, in attention and rest. As you drift further into this serene awareness, allow your focus to move gently to the kidneys, those quiet, bean-shaped organs nestled deep in the body, often overlooked but essential to life's delicate balance. Imagine them like twin coral structures on the ocean floor, filtering and purifying, maintaining equilibrium in an otherwise vast and complex system. Blood flows through them constantly, carrying nutrients, oxygen, and waste products, and the kidney's meticulous filtering removes what is no longer needed, returning balance to the body's internal environment. With each beat of the heart, with each pulse of blood, they labor quietly, ensuring that the body remains hydrated, energized, and ready to respond to any challenge. Notice how these organs change over time. In youth, the kidneys are resilient, responsive, and efficient. As years pass, tiny changes accumulate, subtle reductions in filtering capacity, slightly diminished blood flow, the gradual wear of a lifetime of use. For the elderly, these changes can make the kidneys more vulnerable to stress, dehydration, and disease. Yet even in age, they remain capable, adaptable, and integral, responding to gentle care, proper nutrition, and mindful habits. Drinking water, consuming antioxidant-rich foods, balancing electrolytes, each act of nourishment is like delivering clean currents to a reef, allowing it to thrive. Turn your awareness now to the lungs, those expansive, spongy organs that draw life into the body with every breath. Imagine the alveoli as delicate sea anemones, each tiny sac capturing oxygen, each capillary wrapping around them like fine threads of kelp, transferring life-giving molecules into the blood. Inhale slowly, drawing fresh energy deep into these structures, feeling them expand, filling the chest with gentle vitality. Exhale, releasing carbon dioxide, fatigue, tension, a quiet cleansing, as though the ocean itself exhales in response to your rhythm. As you continue, sense the digestive system, a labyrinth of tubes and organs, quietly processing, extracting, and distributing the energy that sustains you. The stomach churns gently, the intestines guide nutrients along their winding path, and the liver, pancreas, and gallbladder contribute their chemical expertise, like undersea currents moving nutrients across the ocean floor. Every bite of food, every sip of water, every moment of rest contributes to this unseen symphony of chemical reactions, fueling muscles, nerves, organs, and brain, sustaining life quietly yet profoundly. Shift attention now to the endocrine system, those small glands whose secretions ripple through the body like hidden currents. The pituitary whispers instructions to distant organs, the thyroid modulates metabolism with subtle precision, the adrenal glands release bursts of energy when needed, while insulin and glucagon dance a careful ballet of blood sugar regulation. Even the tiniest hormonal fluctuations can alter mood, energy, sleep, and health, reminding you that life's depth often lies beneath the surface, in currents unseen, yet deeply felt. Now imagine the skin, your largest organ, like the vast ocean surface, interacting with the world, sensing changes in temperature, pressure, and touch. It is a protective layer, yet permeable, alive with nerves, blood vessels, and microscopic ecosystems. The skin reflects internal health and emotional state, flushing with warmth, paling with fear, tingling with excitement. Every pore, every hair follicle, every subtle sensation is a connection to the external environment, just as the ocean surface interacts with wind, sun, and the life beneath. And as you breathe, feel the nervous system extending its reach into every extremity, every organ, every hair and nail, orchestrating a symphony of sensation and response. Neurons fire with quiet intensity, reflexes protect, pain signals caution, and pleasure signals reward. The spinal cord carries these messages swiftly, efficiently, like a central channel in a complex oceanic current, ensuring that communication between brain and body is constant, fluid, and responsive. Now turn your focus gently to the heart, that tireless, rhythmic muscle at the center of your body. Imagine it as a deep-sea current, propelling life through arteries and veins, pulsing with steady strength. Each contraction pushes blood rich in oxygen and nutrients, maintaining the delicate balance between energy, movement, and repair. Emotions, too, influence this rhythm. Stress may tighten its pace, calm may slow it, love and connection may infuse it with a steady warmth. Through mindful breathing, gentle movement, and awareness, the heart finds resilience, strength, and harmony, sustaining life quietly yet profoundly. Consider fat, often misunderstood, yet essential, like deep-sea sediments that store nutrients for when the currents are scarce. Fat cushions organs, insulates the body, stores energy, and even participates in signaling within the endocrine system. Lean tissue and fatty tissue interact in a delicate balance, providing both strength and flexibility. Too little fat may leave organs exposed. Too much may strain systems, yet each has a role in maintaining equilibrium, reminding us that all aspects of the body, even those we misunderstand, have a purpose in the symphony of life. The skeletal system supports and structures the body like coral reefs beneath the ocean surface. Bones store minerals, protect organs, and anchor muscles. They change over time, becoming denser in youth, more fragile with age, yet always capable of repair and adaptation. The joints allow movement, flexibility, and fluidity, responding to exercise, posture, and rest. Muscles stretch across these frameworks, contracting, releasing, and communicating with the nervous system, forming a dynamic network of motion, sensation, and balance. As your awareness deepens, imagine the immune system patrolling silently like vigilant guardians of a coral reef. White blood cells, antibodies, and chemical signals operate continuously, detecting threats, repairing damage, and maintaining harmony. Even when unnoticed, these processes protect, preserve, and nurture, allowing the body to flourish quietly beneath the surface, resilient and adaptive, capable of responding to stress, injury, and infection. As you continue to drift gently in awareness, allow your focus to rest on the muscles, those soft, powerful tissues that carry movement, posture, and energy throughout the body. Imagine each muscle fiber like a gently swaying kelp in the ocean, responsive to currents, stretching and contracting with purpose. Some fibers are strong, capable of explosive action, others slow and steady, maintaining posture, supporting joints, and guiding movement. Muscles remember tension, and old patterns can linger, just like currents that persist even after storms have passed. As you breathe slowly, visualize each fiber relaxing, softening, and elongating, releasing accumulated fatigue and allowing energy to flow freely through the body once more. Turn now to the joints, the quiet connectors between bones, the hinges and pivots that allow fluid motion. Each joint has a unique structure. Some are simple, like the hinge of the elbow, others complex, like the ball and socket of the shoulder or hip. Inside, synovial fluid nourishes cartilage, reducing friction and allowing smooth, graceful movement. Imagine this fluid flowing through each joint like a gentle stream, clearing away stiffness, lubricating and renewing, ensuring that motion feels effortless. Over time, joints may change, cartilage wears, ligaments tighten, and movement can become restricted. But awareness, gentle exercise, and mindful care act like tidal currents, restoring balance and flexibility. Shift your attention to the digestive system again, but more deeply this time, imagining every organ as an intricate reef ecosystem. The stomach churns slowly, releasing acids and enzymes that break down food, while the intestines absorb nutrients like roots drawing life from the soil. The liver and pancreas regulate chemical balances, ensuring that energy is distributed to every part of the body. Each bite of nourishing food, vegetables, fruits, grains, lean proteins, provides more than energy. It provides stability, repair, and resilience. Hydration acts like the ocean tides, ensuring that these processes continue smoothly, washing away waste, flushing toxins, and supporting the quiet dance of digestion that sustains life in every moment. Now, bring your awareness to the nervous system once more, this time noticing the intricate web of signals, the constant communication between body and brain. Neurons fire in rapid sequences, carrying messages to every organ, every muscle, every gland. Reflexes protect, sensations inform, and emotions influence patterns that ripple across the system. Pain, pleasure, tension, and relaxation are all signals interpreted by this network, and mindful attention can modulate their intensity. Imagine these signals as delicate waves moving through a calm ocean, gentle yet purposeful, informing, guiding, and protecting the entire organism. The cardiovascular system continues to hum quietly, its rhythms synchronized with your breath and awareness. The heart pumps blood in an unending cycle, oxygenating tissues, removing waste, and sustaining the delicate balance of life. Blood vessels expand and contract, capillaries weave a web through every tissue, ensuring that even the smallest cells receive nourishment. Emotions, too, have their impact. Calm and gratitude slow the heart, promoting health and repair, while stress can accelerate rhythm, causing tension and strain. Awareness and mindful breathing can influence these patterns, like the gentle steering of currents to maintain harmony in an ocean ecosystem. Move now to the kidneys once again, imagining them processing each drop of blood with meticulous care, filtering toxins, balancing electrolytes, and regulating fluid levels. Each nephron, a tiny filtering unit, performs its function with quiet precision, ensuring stability even as the body encounters changes in diet, activity, and environment. Nutrient-rich foods, adequate hydration, and moderate exercise support these organs, much like sunlight and clear water help a coral reef flourish. In older adults, these processes may slow, requiring more gentle care and mindful attention, but the kidney's resilience remains remarkable, capable of sustaining life when nurtured and respected. Consider the liver, the body's silent chemist, constantly metabolizing nutrients, detoxifying and synthesizing proteins essential for health. Its lobes work like tides flowing in harmony, processing substances, regulating hormones, and supporting immunity. Even subtle shifts in diet or hydration influence its efficiency, reminding you that each act of nourishment is also an act of care, an alignment with the body's natural rhythms. Now imagine the skin. The body's interface with the environment, alive with sensory receptors, capillaries, and collagen structures that provide elasticity, protection, and communication. Skin responds to touch, temperature, moisture, and tension, and it reflects internal health as clearly as it does external conditions. With every breath and every moment of gentle awareness, visualize the skin receiving nutrients from the blood, repairing itself, and glowing with a quiet vitality that mirrors the inner harmony of the body. The immune system moves silently beneath the surface, vigilant and responsive, guarding the body like a hidden reef of protective cells. White blood cells patrol, antibodies respond to threats, and chemical signals coordinate defense, repair, and maintenance. Every act of rest, hydration, and nourishment strengthens this silent army, reinforcing the quiet stability that allows life to thrive. The endocrine system continues to regulate subtly, with glands releasing hormones that influence metabolism, mood, growth, and stress response. These chemical messengers ripple through the body like tidal waves, guiding adaptation, energy allocation, and emotional regulation. Awareness, mindfulness, nutrition, and gentle exercise help maintain balance, allowing these currents to flow in harmony rather than turbulence. Shift your attention to fat, the misunderstood reservoir of energy, insulation, and cushioning. Fat stores nutrients, supports organs, and contributes to signaling networks within the body. Each layer of adipose tissue, whether subcutaneous or visceral, plays a role in maintaining equilibrium. Lean tissues and fatty tissues communicate constantly, and lifestyle choices, diet, movement, rest shape this balance. Recognizing the essential role of fat allows for gentle acceptance, mindful care, and sustainable health practices that enhance longevity and vitality. As your awareness drifts further into the inner landscape of the body, imagine your muscles responding to gentle currents of energy, each fiber relaxing, elongating, and subtly strengthening. Picture the vast network of fibers like a forest of kelp beneath calm ocean waves, swaying and stretching with each inhalation and exhalation. The shoulders, chest, back, and legs are all interconnected, and as you breathe slowly, visualize tension melting, old patterns of stiffness dissolving, and energy flowing freely. Every tiny contraction, every residual tightness, has a story, a memory of past movement, stress, or injury. And now, in this space of quiet attention, each story is acknowledged, understood, and softly released. Muscles adapt slowly, gently, like sand shifting under a tide, reshaping, relaxing, and finding balance once more. Shift your focus to the skeletal system, the framework that supports every movement, every posture, every breath. Bones carry weight, store minerals, and serve as anchors for muscles and ligaments. Imagine the spine curving like a gentle river, each vertebra aligning naturally, intervertebral discs cushioning every subtle shift. Over time, age and activity reshape the skeleton, density may decrease, joints may stiffen, but the architecture remains resilient, capable of strength and adaptation when nurtured. Visualize your bones bathed in warm light, absorbing nutrients from the blood, repairing microdamage, and reinforcing their strength with each heartbeat. Turn now to the joints, delicate yet powerful connectors, each a universe of synovial fluid, cartilage, ligaments, and tendons. The knees, elbows, wrists, shoulders, and ankles allow motion while protecting bones from friction and stress. Imagine synovial fluid moving like clear water through the space between bones, nourishing cartilage, softening movements, and reducing strain. Gentle awareness and motion help maintain flexibility, prevent degeneration, and sustain the ease of daily life. Picture tiny impulses of sensation traveling through nerves around each joint, relaying information about pressure, stretch, and alignment, guiding microadjustments in posture and movement, like a symphony of subtle communication between body and mind. The cardiovascular system hums steadily in the background, a constant, rhythmic ocean of blood flowing through the heart, arteries, veins, and capillaries. Each beat delivers oxygen, nutrients, and hormones while removing waste, sustaining every cell and tissue. Imagine the heart's chambers contracting and relaxing in perfect synchrony, the pulse rippling through vessels like waves across a serene bay. Emotional states influence this rhythm. Calm, mindful breathing slows it, releasing tension, while stress accelerates it, causing subtle wear over time. Awareness and breath guide the cardiovascular system gently, nurturing endurance, efficiency, and harmony, supporting the quiet hum of life that flows through every corner of the body. Bring your focus once again to the kidneys, the patient filters of the bloodstream, each nephron working tirelessly to remove waste, balance electrolytes, and regulate hydration. Visualize the flow of blood entering these organs, nutrients extracted, toxins neutralized, fluids balanced. Each action is precise, quiet, and necessary, sustaining the delicate equilibrium of the body. Older adults may experience slower filtration and decreased reserve, reminding us of the need for hydration, proper nutrition, and gentle care. Picture each kidney as a serene pond, rippling with activity, yet calm and balanced, supporting life without fanfare or noise. The liver, ever vigilant, processes nutrients, detoxifies chemicals, synthesizes essential proteins, and regulates energy. Imagine its lobes shifting gently with each breath, filtering, balancing, and restoring the body's internal harmony. Diet, hydration, and lifestyle choices influence its efficiency, each act of nourishment, rest, or gentle movement reinforcing its resilience. The liver, like a deep ocean current, moves steadily, unseen but essential, maintaining stability and vitality even amidst daily stressors and challenges. Your skin, the body's largest organ, continues to receive attention. Sensory receptors register touch, pressure, temperature, and vibration, while blood vessels supply nutrients and remove waste. Visualize the layers of skin, epidermis, dermis, and subcutaneous tissue, each alive with activity. Collagen fibers provide structure, elastin allows flexibility, and every tiny capillary delivers sustenance. Aging, sun exposure, and environmental factors influence its texture and resilience. Yet mindful care, hydration, and nourishment help maintain vitality, allowing the skin to function as a protective, responsive interface with the world. Turn attention to the nervous system, the silent conductor of sensation, movement, emotion, and cognition. Imagine neurons firing in rapid sequences, synapses transmitting chemical and electrical signals, creating a constant dialogue between body and mind. Reflexes, perception, and voluntary actions flow seamlessly, orchestrated by the brain and spinal cord. Pain, pleasure, tension, and relaxation are interpreted in this network, influencing posture, breathing, and emotional state. With awareness, breathing, and gentle movement, this system can be guided toward calm, reducing unnecessary amplification of stress signals, promoting comfort, and supporting coordination and resilience. The endocrine system, subtly regulating growth, metabolism, and emotional balance, operates quietly in the background. Glands release hormones, sending chemical messengers that ripple through the bloodstream, influencing every tissue. Awareness, diet, sleep, and moderate exercise help maintain balance, allowing these signals to flow harmoniously. Picture each gland functioning like a lighthouse, emitting precise pulses of energy, coordinating adaptation, repair, and the rhythmic cycles of daily life. Fat, often misunderstood, is an active tissue, storing energy, cushioning organs, and participating in hormonal signaling. Visualize layers of adipose tissue, some subcutaneous, some visceral, each contributing to energy balance, insulation, and protection. Lean tissue and fat communicate constantly, influencing metabolism, endurance, and strength. Awareness and gentle lifestyle choices help maintain optimal balance, allowing energy to flow efficiently, supporting organ function, and sustaining resilience. The digestive system continues its silent work, breaking down food, absorbing nutrients, and distributing them through the bloodstream. Imagine the stomach, intestines, pancreas, and liver working in synchrony, like an intricate ecosystem, each organ contributing to the delicate balance of chemical, enzymatic, and microbial processes. Hydration, diet rich in fiber, vitamins, and minerals, and mindful eating enhance efficiency, reduce strain, and support the body's internal harmony. The immune system remains vigilant, patrolling tissues, identifying threats, and coordinating repair. White blood cells, antibodies, and chemical signals act like guardians, responding to challenges, preventing infection, and supporting recovery. Awareness, rest, nutrition, and movement strengthen this defense, reinforcing resilience and ensuring that the body can adapt to internal and external stressors. The respiratory system flows effortlessly with each breath, delivering oxygen, removing carbon dioxide, and supporting cellular metabolism. Imagine the lungs expanding, the diaphragm descending, air moving through bronchi and alveoli, oxygen diffusing into capillaries, energizing every cell. Breath, slow and mindful, enhances this process, soothing the nervous system, nourishing tissues, and maintaining balance between activity and rest. The skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, and cardiac muscles interact, responding to signals from the nervous system, maintaining posture, circulation, digestion, and movement. Awareness of these processes allows subtle adjustments, releasing tension